Today, when I accessed the Police Commissioner's website, I saw Sussex PCC to question Chief Constable about latest HMIC inspection results, posted by Sammy Carwadine. The name Sammy appears to mean his name is God and to be a unisex name of American Hebrew origin. According to the Commissioner's office, she is its digital content officer, and according to the internet, she or her namesake is a member of Vimeo, an internet video company. If this Carwadine page from Vimeo is not that of a namesake, Sammy is presumably wifey in this poor quality photograph. Sammy has no videos, no followers, and no likes. She writes, Police and Crime Commissioner, PCC Katie Bourne, will be questioning the Chief Constable about Sussex Police's disappointing performance in a recent HMIC report which saw some areas, previously classed as good, assessed as requires improvement. As I had already featured that HMIC report in a YouTube video, and knew that areas not classed as good were also assessed as requires improvement, I intended to view that item at Friday's meeting to see to what extent the Commissioner would recognise the shortcomings in Sussex Police's work that need addressing.
Today's Performance Accountability meeting, 24th of March, Friday 2017.
That poor quality sound continued throughout the webcast. No commercial organisation could afford to be responsible for such incompetence.
So this is the Peel Effectiveness Report, and it looks at 4 strands.
No, the report does not look at 4 strands. The inspectors queried how effective Sussex Police were at keeping people safe and reducing crime, using 5 categories of work, 4 of which were graded, 1 good, and 3 requires improvement. The Commissioner then read out from her notes extracts from 4 strands in the report, and questions asking what the Chief Constable was going to do about making the improvements required, as though she herself was in no way responsible for shortcomings, though she herself was supposed to have planned the work reported on and monitored progress throughout 2016 and preceding years. I'm not wasting my time trying to select anything worthwhile from the lengthy stream of questions and incredible answers on Bourne's 4 strands. From experience, I find it difficult to believe anything I hear from Sussex Police, and when I listen to the Commissioner, I sometimes find it impossible to decide whether I am listening to Bourne liar or Bourne stupid. I will end this video with what one heard when at the end of their orchestrated interchanges on the HMIC report, the Commissioner asked the Chief Constable she had appointed to provide an overview of the report. But before that, I've picked out a couple of subjects from the meeting that I've commented on before with the futile aim of trying to improve a substandard police service. These accountability meetings, like those of the police panel, seem destined to go over the same ground again and again, year after year. This meeting's agenda included the perennial 101 non-emergency call handling.
We have about 2,000 calls every single day into that centre, and you will note, I know you've been in there, the people in there work incredibly hard to do a really good job. However, the good news, if we go to this week alone in terms of 101, on Monday we answered 75% of all our 101 calls in 48 seconds.
I've taken longer than 48 seconds to answer the telephone telling a drunken caller that he had used the wrong number. In 2013, thanks to a Sussex resident, a video of mine shed light on the police's self-serving use of statistics. Sussex Police and Crime Panel Annual Meeting 2013 includes the resident telling the Commissioner that he was concerned about the time he was kept waiting when he used the 101 number. After listening to a long-winded list of statistics, many of them about emergency calls, he made suggestions for improvements, including:
I've no dispute that the calls are answered within your 60-second target, but it's then the length of time one is kept hanging on, waiting to actually speak to a person. The call is usually answered, and then you're told you're in a queue, and you hold and hold. Now, could I ask that you consider henceforth that you do monitor the holding statistic rather than just the answering statistic?
4 years later, the answer still appears to be no.
So the next bit is the effectiveness area around protecting vulnerable people and supporting victims.
How effective is the force at protecting those who are vulnerable from harm and supporting victims?
There's a lot of learning that's come out of the Sharma Rice tragedy, but I think, and I'm sure this won't just be Sussex Police that has this as an issue.
That's true. On the 26th of July 2007, I learned that Richards was to be Chief Constable of Sussex and made this note on my Sussex Police Authority webpage. Ms. Richards, 23 years old and pregnant, told the police she was petrified after being seriously assaulted in her flat by her boyfriend. Wiltshire Police assessed the risk from the boyfriend as low. 6 days later, the boyfriend slashed her throat with a knife at her flat and was jailed for life. Martin Richards, the Chief Constable of Wiltshire, said that he was deeply sorry for mistakes and wrong decisions made at the time. What does the Chief Constable appointed by Bourne say?
I think you're absolutely right. Asking the Crown Prosecution Service advice, and that advice starts off with, in the first paragraph, is these can be really difficult cases to prosecute because harassment is not defined within the law. Stalking is not defined specifically within the law.
The Crown Prosecution Service website has pages of detailed information and advice on the subject, from which I read enough to believe that York was being unjustifiably selective in misleading Bourne about the subject. When I typed law harassment into an internet search engine, the first site listed was from the CPS. The Protection from Harassment Act was introduced in 1997 largely to tackle stalking, though the offence of harassment extends to any form of persistent conduct which causes another alarm or distress. Therefore, the range of behaviour that is capable of constituting an offence under the Act is potentially very wide. Did York say there is no legal definition of harassment?
These can be really difficult cases to prosecute because harassment is not defined within the law.
Equality Act 2010, Part 2, Chapter 2, Section 26. I'll quote just the first of 5 paragraphs. Harassment. 1. A person A harasses another B if A engages in unwanted conduct related to a relevant protected characteristic and the conduct has the purpose or effect of violating B's dignity or creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating or offensive environment for B. Bourne herself played a leading part in pretending that the force was superlative at protecting the vulnerable. That was the subject of a YouTube video called The Sussex Police Pledge. But to save time, I'll provide a few details from my Commissioner web page. 21st of July 2013. Today I read in the Argus Co-UK a story headed Sussex Police praised for work at tackling domestic violence. and the first sentence tells us, Sussex Police has become the first police force in the country to gain White Ribbon Award status, awarded in its recognition of its work at tackling domestic violence. 22nd of July 2013. Today the Argus Co-UK published a new version of the same story headed Sussex Police given White Ribbon Award. Beneath the photograph, the story started, Sussex Police has become the first in the country to earn an award for its fight against domestic violence. 3 days later, after a little research into the head of the organisation which provided White Ribbon status, I wrote a brief letter to the Argus. When is a gift not a gift? In the Argus Co-UK on the 22nd of July, you published a story under the heading Sussex Police given White Ribbon Award. I added a comment about a cheap piece of publicity. I was wrong. I have just discovered that to get the award, an organisation has to fill in a questionnaire, and there is an annual contribution of £250 for the award. I wonder who filled in the questionnaire, which required the applicant to support men working to end violence against women. Some people had been forced to wear white ribbons, and though the ribbons now seem to have disappeared, Sussex Police are still listed among other white ribbon accreditations, though with no date. Perhaps HMIC will report on commissioners and police panels. In Report on Sussex Police Authority, I explained how HMIC had graded Sussex Police Authority as 2, second from bottom, and I graded HMIC as 1. Now prepare yourself for the finale to the agenda items on Sussex Police Effectiveness 2016.
We've come to the end of it, really to have an overview and reflections on it. Is there anything that you wanted to add?
I would, Katie, thank you. I can't say I'm not disappointed that the headline has come out as requires improvement. I'm grateful to HMIC, Zoe Billingham in particular, in understanding the context that we're working in at this time. A challenging context around still trying to find funds and savings within the organisation, but also investing in new ways of doing things, with the increase in the precept and early savings coming through. I think that it is, as she has said, a mixed bag of findings that are here, and sometimes quite confusing to be able to understand, because the report has found good problem solving within our neighbourhoods. It has found good intelligence sharing with partners. It's found that we are good at engaging with the public in a variety of ways. It says we've got strong working relationships with partners, which often results in effective action being taken to address community concerns. And, really relevant, recognise we are well prepared to respond to a firearms attack, and good at tackling serious organised crime. So what I would ask is, all of the officers and staff within Sussex Police should not miss a beat over this report. We take those requirements for change very seriously, and those observations very seriously. I've required a fast flash to bang on the back of this to say, we will not be impassive about this, we will not be defensive about it, we will react, and HMIC will feel something very different when they come back. With a context of change for those officers of staff, some of it imposed by me, but as we've seen, some shifts in how we do integrated offender management, how we manage sex offenders, the volumes and demands that are coming in, and then always that unexpected shift as well. I want to pay huge testament to the very skilled and committed members of Sussex Police who really do work incredibly hard to put the public first and keep them safe. Thank you.
I think you summed that up very well indeed.